What's going on, champs and champettes? It's FireMonkey here, and we have a pretty interesting video to talk about today. So we're going to be talking about Ratatouille potentially coming into Fortnite in the very near future, as well as Rocket League, the leak that kind of sparked this discussion on Twitter earlier today, and, you know, all the things kind of going down for what they could even do for this type of collaboration. Now, firstly, I want to give credit where credit is due. This was mainly brought up on social media by Not Paulo Leaks and Sam Leaks before, so those are the two main people who have actually kind of, you know, brought spotlight on this. I did see the string that was added to Rocket League earlier today, but it was added with a few other things, so I didn't really think too much of it. However, now seeing this leak and all this stuff being mentioned, it definitely does sound like an actual Ratatouille collaboration being planned with, you know, more than just Rocket League. So what is going on here? Well, first off, earlier today, Rocket League got some new strings added, and with it we had, you know, some things that are a little bit more simplistic. Like we had a player anthem that was by Habstract and Lizdek. We had a boost called Slaymaker, but then we started getting some food themed things. We got a new player banner called a Rocket Baguette. We got ourselves a new Octane decal called Little Chef, which has the code name of Cogetti. And, you know, I guess that's like a food item or something. I'm assuming like an Italian spaghetti type of thing, right? But I'm probably wrong there. But that actual code name got renamed to Little Chef, which is interesting to see around the exact same time as these food different things being added to the files. After that, we ended up also getting a set of wills called Pixelated Pizza. And then there were two different other wills that got added. I don't think any of these are actually really that related to the whole entire Ratatouille theme, but I'll say them anyways. One was called Disposer, and the other was called Heat Lightning. But the main interesting part to actually mention here is that food theming. Rocket Baguette, you know, Little Chef, which has a courgette, like a food themed item, which I guess courgette actually is a zucchini now that I'm remembering back when I was preparing for this video. Pixelated Pizza, you know, I assume it's going to be like some retro Minecraft pixel art pizza type thing you could see in the game as rewards or items that you'd be able to obtain in the near future. And this just kind of came out of the blue. Now, typically when they do these type of collaborations, and typically when they have stuff planned like an event or whatever, they'll add these files when it's getting closer to one of those things going on. And specifically when it comes to like localized strings like the actual description of Little Chef, they don't really add those right away. They usually add those right when an event is about to start or after the event's already started. So seeing them just kind of shadow hotfix this out of nowhere makes me wonder if in the next day or two we're actually going to be seeing a Ratatouille x Rocket League collaboration officially being announced. However, according to leakers like Not Paulo Leaks and Sam Leaks that we mentioned earlier, it appears that this collaboration is not just going to be a Rocket League thing, but it's also going to be something that releases in Fortnite as well. In terms of what they could actually do for the skins and backblings and whatever else, first things first, if they were to do the bare minimum, I could see a sidekick, right? Rim me as a sidekick. That is just like the most obvious, like, hey, if you're doing Ratatouille, this is what you should do. It is the Ratatouille himself, right? It's Mr. Rat Remy. It's like, that's gotta be one of the main things they would do for that collaboration. Of course, the vehicle cosmetics most likely would carry over to Fortnite as well. But other than that, let's say they had some skins. I could definitely see a Alfredo Linguini character model or skin in Fortnite. And if you guys don't know who that is, it's basically the main character from Ratatouille who is controlled by Remy, by the hair and everything inside of the chef hat. It would be an interesting little thing. You know, maybe we could have a variant with the chef hat on, maybe a variant with it off and just having a little Remy on your head or something. We're not really too for sure exactly what they would do there, but I think at the bare minimum, I think, you know, we're not going to just get vehicle cosmetics and call it a day. Could they just do that? Yeah, but I highly expect that if you're doing Ratatouille, you gotta have a sidekick. If not, then Epic Games is just making some weird choices and they don't know what to do with a collaboration in order to make a collaboration actually good. I'm just saying that right now. For a pickaxe, though, you know, I could see just normal items or backblings or whatever themed around kitchenware, you know, like a copper pot or a wooden spoon or a chef's knife or something. All of those would just kind of work. Of course, it would be a little bit more themed towards Ratatouille and not just, here's a chef spoon from my kitchen, Mr. Epic Employee 37's kitchen. No, of course it would be related to an actual thing in that universe, but I definitely feel like there's a lot of areas for them to actually go ahead and do pickaxes, backblings, skins, glider. Okay, I just had a dumb idea for the glider. I don't know why this was the first thing that came to my head, but Chef Gusto as a glider was the first thing my mind went to. Is that something they'll do? Probably not. But I think at the very least, what we can confirm as as of right now, or at least what I can confirm, is we are going to be seeing some stuff in Rocket League, and according to leakers, it will also happen in Fortnite as well. So be excited for this type of collaboration if you're someone who wants to pick up some Ratatouille themed cosmetics in the Fortnite item shop. I do feel a little iffy on the pricing because I know I said I was going to buy stuff like the Ben 10 collaboration, or I was going to grind Save the World to get the Hercules collaboration and all that. I didn't get either of those collaborations. I don't know, man. It's like 4,000 V-Bucks for some of this stuff. It just feels way more expensive than it used to be, especially with like skins randomly getting more expensive or cheaper compared to what they were when they originally released. Stuff like there's this one skin. There was like a samurai skin. I forget the actual name of it. That was originally 2,000 V-Bucks and is now being sold for 1,500 V-Bucks. There's weird pricing stuff going on with Epic right now. So, you know, I think regardless if there's free rewards, I'm going to get me some free rewards. But it's cool to see Ratatouille coming to the game. Not too for sure if I'll be able to actually go ahead and purchase anything from it. I know stuff like the Sidekick, for example, like Super Meat Boy, and when we have the little Dart Monkey, I got that not even by buying them in Fortnite, but buying the actual games on the Epic Game Store, buying like little DLC packs or whatever for like the Dart Monkey. So that's kind of how I've been spending my money on this game recently. But we're getting off on a random tangent. I hope you champs and champions enjoyed today's YouTube video. Hopefully got you brainstorming what we could actually see in a Ratatouille collaboration. But as far as I can give the FireMonkey seal of approval confirmation to right now, it is mainly there are some strings that got added to Rocket League that all relate to food and appear to actually be Ratatouille related, especially since there's an Octane skin called Little Chef now, and what is more of a little chef than the Remy Ratatouille himself? Until next time, I'll catch you champs and champions a little later in another upload, so peace out.